Welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. Our mission is to share what we have learned from our experience and the experience of others to help you make more money investing like a pro. We want to teach you how to create wealth by investing in real estate the Discount Property Investor way. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. Your host, David Dodge and Mike Slane. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Dave. I'm doing very well today. Very excited to be here.
I am pumped.
Talking about our new book. New book, which we just published, just finished, put out there. It is called The BRRRR Method.
That's right.
I'm going to go grab a copy. We don't even have a copy in here. I'm going to go grab it.
I don't know if we do have a copy.
I'm going to go grab one, man.
Go get one. So, guys, The BRRRR Method is a book that Mike and I just released. We just published this. It's available on Amazon and Audible. So, and also the Kindle now too. We just released it earlier this week. It's a thick book. It's like 375-ish pages, and it breaks down how Mike and I have been able to basically buy, rehab, rent out, refinance and repeat, and basically acquire about 50 rental properties in the last 15 months using this simple strategy. So again, the strategy is buy, rehab, rent out, renovate, repeat. It's a very basic strategy. And we wrote a book. So, you know, people have asked me, hey, how does this differ from a couple of the other books that are out there? I don't know. I haven't read those books.
I'm back, guys. Hopefully Dave was able to fill the airtime.
Yeah, no problem.
I know he struggles with speaking sometimes.
That's right. So, but, you know, I don't know. I haven't read any of the other BRRRR books, to be quite honest with you. I know about the strategy, but this book, we wrote this from our own experiences.
Yeah, and so you're just talking about the book. I think this book is neat because if you don't know what BRRRR is, this is going to kind of walk you all the way through it. If you're
start to finish,
start to finish. Every part of it we cover with as much detail from our experiences as we have. If you are familiar with the BRRRR method and you want to use this as kind of just a reference guide, we've got the glossary up front, and you can kind of just read certain sections of it. Like, you don't have to read the entire book, which I think is kind of cool about this one.
I like that.
I mean, it is very comprehensive, or at least we think it is. Mm-hmm. About 300 pages, give or take. So, again, it's a very comprehensive book, and if you just want to skim to one section on, how do these guys deal with tenants? Or how do you deal with screening tenants? Yeah, I mean, you can flip through and find that in the book. Or here's another one, like, how do you buy your houses? So this is a really cool thing about the BRRRR method that I think is kind of overlooked.
What's that?
That you don't have to have money to start doing this.
No, you don't. It's true.
Good credit is very, very helpful, but you don't even have to have that. You can find a partner or someone else who's willing to co-sign.
That's a great point.
But one of the coolest...
Age doesn't matter. Credit doesn't matter.
Exactly. So what's really cool, though, and I just flipped to it and said private funding, you don't have to have your own money, but you get to recycle that same money over and over again. So if you have, if you know someone, or even a hard money lender, you don't have to know someone. You can go and use the same $100,000 that someone's willing to lend you and build yourself a multi-million-dollar portfolio pretty easily. Mm-hmm. I think we even lay out an example of if you just do this once or twice a year. I think it's twice a year. After 5 years, you're going to have about
10 houses.
10 houses.
Mm-hmm. That's one in every 6 months. That's so doable. We're doing 3 or 4 or 5
at a time
in a month.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you just do one, or again, you keep your full-time job, you keep working, doing your daily grind, and you did 1 or 2 projects kind of as a side hustle instead of trying to sell, makeup, or if you did whatever your side hustle might be. If you did this instead, and you did it twice a year for 5 years, you would literally create $1 million portfolio if each house is worth only $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
You've created $1 million portfolio in 5 years. Super, super doable.
Super crazy.
If each of those properties, okay, so you got 10 properties. If each of those properties cash flows only $300 a month, $300 per month times 10, that's $3,000 per month. That's $36,000 per year.
Extra.
extra.
Taxed a lot less than earned income too.
That is more than a lot of people make in a year.
That's a great point.
So again, I mean, this is a great
It's
way.
$18 an hour.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Well, yeah, and this is assuming no increases in the rent. This is assuming no, I mean, none of the tax advantages of it as well.
Right.
I mean, something like that, you could retire your wife. I mean, if she's making $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty neat. It's a pretty powerful method. And that is
360-ish pages, I think.
Yeah,
370.
just flip to the glossary in the front, man.
373.
Or anywhere in there and just pick a
Holy
topic.
cow.
Let's chat.
Yeah, I love that
Next
idea.
topic. I mean, again, so to me, it's really neat that private funding. Like, again, you don't need your own money. You can create a portfolio of rental properties almost out of thin air using this method.
Absolutely. So let's talk about how we can do that without our own money, right? So we have private lenders, but you can use hard money lenders as well for the acquisition.
Yeah, so let's talk about a hard money lender.
That's the purchase side.
Real simple, guys.
Yep.
If you go to any of the RIAs in your local community or, anywhere in your city, go to a RIA, I almost guarantee you they're going to have sponsors. And one of those sponsors is going to be a hard money lender. They may not be the best hard money lender, but they're going to be a lender in your city that's working in your city on deals. This is someone who's essentially going to say, hey, look at this house you want to buy. Well, I can lend you this much money on it. So that should give you a good idea of whether or not it's a deal or not. If a hard money lender says, I can only lend you $60,000 on this property and you've got it under contract for $80,000, it may not be the right deal for BRRRR. So again, it's kind of getting a second set of eyes on it. What else about hard money lenders?
They're not necessarily lending on the person. They're going to look at your credit, but you can have bad credit essentially if it's a good deal, right? They're looking at the property and the person. I'm not saying bad credit, but you don't have to have
less than perfect.
Less than perfect. You don't have to have excellent credit to work with the hard money lender. Hard money lenders are not hard to work with. It's a hard asset that they're lending on. That's why they're called hard money lenders. It's not hard money, right? It's the asset that they're lending on is a hard asset. It's real estate. Hard money lenders won't lend on anything else that I'm aware of. It's basically real estate, right?
Yeah, I mean, to my knowledge,
right.
I don't think so.
Right. So, using the lender to get a deal on a property, most lenders will even lend you the rehab if it's a deal. If it's a great deal, they're going to lend you the purchase and the rehab. They're all going to be a little different, so shop around. But that's the first part. You don't need any of your own money necessarily to get into these, right? You can buy them at a discount. You can borrow the money to fix them up. You can get a property manager. So we're moving to the next step, renting it out. You can get a property manager. You can do it yourself. We recommend doing it yourself for the first 10-ish so you can learn it and then hire that property manager so you can scale. But renting it out, that's easy. You show it. You find somebody that wants to live there. You get a lease signed. There's really not that much to it, right?
Well, it's funny, Dave, that you say that because
it's probably 50 pages on
I
it.
agree 100%. There's not much to it. And after you
There's a little stuff, of course.
After you go through it, it's not a big deal. But again, when you're new, it is. It's like, oh man, this is overwhelming.
It's great. It's a good point.
Where do I find a lease? How do I collect rent?
It's all in there. Yep.
It can be very overwhelming. So you don't want to downplay it, but it is easy.
Yeah. Right.
Again, it's not that big.
But we break
of a
it down
deal.
in the book. That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then, once you have it, well, we totally skipped renting it. We talked about fixing it kind of, but you're going to want to add value, rehabbing it.
It's a good thing we
right?
put it in a book because sometimes our train of thought just bounces all over.
Bounces all over, right? So you want to fix it up. You want to, typically with the BRRRR method, not always, but you want to talk to your banker and you want to figure out what it's going to take to get the entrepreneurial credit, right? Which basically just means that they're going to lend on the appraisal, not the purchase plus repairs. If you're getting loans on purchase plus repairs, it doesn't matter what those numbers are. You're still leaving money in the deal because they're going to give you a percentage of what you spend. So math doesn't really change, right? If you are going to be having to leave a percentage in of what you paid, it doesn't matter what the number's in, you're going to be in it for something. However, if you can get them to lend you on the appraisal, which again has typically a minimum rehab amount, you can buy at a discount and you can add value and you can pad in that difference to where you can leave none of your own money in these deals, which is awesome.
And so here's another thing that's really important or really neat about borrowing money to buy it too. Like even if you have the cash, I still recommend borrowing some of the money. Here's why. When you go to refinance at the final R, the second to final R, refinancing this property, you're not doing a cash out refinance. You're doing a rate and term refinance.
That's a
because
great
you
point.
already have a loan. They have to pay off another loan. So the bankers aren't looking at you like thinking, oh, we're just giving this guy $80,000 for this property.
No, somebody else already lent him
There's already
$80,000. Somebody else already took the risk.
Right. So the bank, it's a lower risk loan for them. They'll lend a higher percentage usually, or typically.
That's a really good point.
I mean, we just went through this with one of our lenders as well. As they said, oh, you're doing this kind of refinance. We can only lend up to 70%. And said, oh, well, actually, we have a loan on it. And they said, oh, okay. Well, then it turns out we can do 80% instead of 70%. So that's how the banks limit their risk is, again, it just depends on the type of loan that it is. So when you borrow money up front, it's actually pretty advantageous when you go to refinance it with a bank because it's a refi, not a cash out.
Man,
so
I
it's
love
very,
that.
very powerful.
That's a really
So there's a
good
lot of
point.
really neat things just by doing these steps just contained in this BRRRR thing.
Repeat.
Yeah, very, very
And
powerful.
that's the coolest part about it is you can repeat this. You can take the same private lender's money, and if you do like Mike said, let's just say you just do 2 a year for 5 years. That's going to put 10 properties in your portfolio, and you don't even have to be doing these at the same time. You can do one at a time. You use the same hard money lender. Go get a loan for the purchase, maybe the rehab, maybe not, but go rehab it, get it rented, refinance it, get all that money back, and then now you just go borrow that money again from your lender, right? So there's really, really cool advantages of this because you can turn this money over and over again. The refinance pays them back. Well, once they're paid back, they're not making any interest anymore. So they're going to be really eager to give you another loan, right? So one of the things that Mike and I highly stress, though, to our students and in this book is that you got to think of the end in mind. Go talk to your bankers first. Even though that's the third R, refinance, it really should be one of the first things you do. Because if you can't, I mean, just think of it this way. This is so simple. If you can't refinance out, if you can't qualify, then you're going to put yourself between a rock and a hard place because you're going to have gone and found a deal, hopefully, got a lender to help you buy it, fixed it up, rented it out. Now you're going to be paying 10, 12, 14%, which is fine short term to that hard money lender. But if you can't roll that into a 20-year, 25-year loan that, has a rate of 4, 5, 6% versus 12, 14, 16%, you won't be cash flowing, maybe even losing. So you got to be able to refi.
Well, not only that, on the refi is you also typically the hard money lender or your private lender is only looking to do a short-term loan of 6 months to a year. They don't want the 30-year loan.
Right.
So you really do need to begin with the end in mind. It's one of the things we did. It's in the book as well. Don't worry, we cover that. Yeah, we call it PBR. So get pre-qualified.
There you go.
Make sure you're talking to your bankers.
BRRR.
BRRR, exactly. One of our little jokes
That's
on
right.
on the BRRRR method book, guys. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought. I was going to mention something else.
Guys, the book is available on Amazon, both in a print version that if you have Prime, it's free shipping, which is great. But there's a print version. There's also the Kindle version. So if you have a Kindle, you can download it. That's only a couple bucks, which is sweet. And we just got it released on Audible as well, which is one of my favorites. Mike and I actually did the audio versions of the book, just like the last version. We switched off every other chapter, which I think is kind of fun to listen to. But again, it's available in 3 different places. So you can do the Kindle ebook, you can buy the hard copy, or you can download the
and we
audio
know
version.
you guys listening on the podcast most likely are going to get that audio version, and we appreciate that. And yeah, just let us know what you guys think. Feel free to comment here, or if you want, give us a review. Leave us a review on Amazon.
Yeah, leave us an honest review. We're not even asking for anything out of the ordinary. If you don't like the book, tell us. I'm going to be pretty certain that that's not going to happen because this is a damn good book. And this is everything we do in our business, Mike. Everything we do in our business to acquire 50-plus houses in the last 15 months with none of our own money.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I mean, zero. We've borrowed a lot. We have a lot of loans, but we didn't have to put up any of our own money to buy, fix, rent, refinance, and of course, we've repeated it 50 times. So it's pretty cool,
Yeah.
The fact that I hadn't read a bunch of other books is, it's funny because I don't know why. I've gotten asked like 4 times already, how is this different from the 2 or 3 other BRRRR books that are out there. Well, I don't know. I honestly don't. I'd imagine it's similar. However, this is my and your experiences.
It is.
This isn't just like, hey, here's how to do something, right? Step by step. No, here's how we did it and how you can do it too. And this is exactly what we did. And there's lots of failures in this book and things not to do, which is almost as important as the things to do, because you need to know what not to do so you save time and money. You don't screw up.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny people have asked that question because I'm the same boat. I have no idea.
You know how many books there are on real estate investing? I mean, there's thousands,
I don't read other people's books sometimes. And especially on this one, I think it was kind of good not to, because, I mean, otherwise it could have steered our book.
Right.
And again, it's like, why cover something that wasn't our experience?
That's such a great point.
Yeah.
I love it, guys. Well, that's it for today. We're going to keep this short, but check it out. It's on Amazon and Audible, print version, hard copy, ebook, audio. We are super excited to launch this book. And if you guys do get it, we would appreciate a review. And again, be honest. We can take it. We can handle it. That's it, guys. Signing off. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach a wider audience. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, please visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. We would also appreciate it if you left us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Thank you in advance for your support, and remember, you make your money when you buy, and you get paid when you sell. Now let's go build some wealth.